Hey, everybody, with me right now are Rahul and from Alt Investors Hangout and Ernie from his channel, which is, what are you, Apple Investor? Is that it?
The Apple Investor.
Okay. So I want to get you guys, I want to get your guys', I don't even want to say that, whatever, you know what time it is. I want to find out y'all's opinion about a topic that's been bugging me for quite a while. I'm going to throw some names out there. I'm going to shut up and let y'all talk. Jim Cramer, Peter Schiff, Warren Buffett. Rahul, go.
Like we were talking about this a few minutes ago, it seems that individuals such as, you could talk about Schiff, he's had a good track record when it comes to the tech bubble and the real estate bubble. However, after that, his track record is not so great. And look at emerging markets right now. I think he's fully invested there. And what I find interesting is that the mainstream media props these guys up after they've hit their prime. And then there are other individuals, I'll throw this guy's name out, Mike Status. I've never heard about this guy until guess who always talks about him, Taco Smenareros. He talks about this guy, Mike Status, right? I look into his track record. He has a phenomenal track record, but the mainstream media ignores him. I just find it quite interesting that the mainstream media ignores guys who have had fantastic track records, but at the same time are going to continue to prop up individuals like Schiff. I like Schiff. I still like the fact that he's anti-government. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I find it really interesting. No one talks about individuals with good track records. Like, Don, you've had a good track record since 2007, so no one talks about you.
Well, people
hate you for some reason. It makes no sense.
Well, on that topic, let me address that if I can. First of all, thanks for talking about my track record like that. But first of all, I'm not right about everything, but the things I'm right about, I'm pretty right about. And with precious metals, I still contend I've got a better record than anybody on YouTube on that topic. But I had someone tell me today something that I've been told many times recently. They've said, this one guy said, he hated me. He just hated me. And I asked him why. He said, well, I don't hate you anymore. He said, but I did hate you because what you were saying was contrary to what everybody on the media was saying and everybody in the alternative media was saying. And he said, what you were saying wasn't what I wanted to hear. So to your point about what the media does, do you think that they bring people like Schiff out who, by the way, I've a lot of things he says I think are accurate and some things I don't, but generally I don't think Peter Schiff is a bad guy. I've talked with him many times. But why do you think the media has him on so much as they do? Is it because of his personality? Is it because it's what people want to hear? What is it?
Well, I think that he's affable. I think that his story, his idealistic story about the way the economy should be and the way it was sort of designed to run is also something that's compelling. I mean, you want to believe that that's the way that things should be, but it's hard to ignore. That's not the way things are. And also he's in with the precious metal crowd, and so that gathers a certain amount of influence. And the biggest thing was that he was directly in the face and opposed to the mainstream when the housing bubble came to fruition. And so he was finally vindicated and proven right, and so he was given a certain pedestal to stand on.
Right. To Rahul's point, though, Rahul makes a point which is, I think, very nuanced. If you look at the big picture stuff that Schiff talked about, he was right about the housing market imploding and all that. But in terms of individual trading, I mean,
he's a horrible trader, in my opinion. Yeah.
I mean, I've seen.
I don't know. Horrible, but he's not the best trader.
I just know from people who have had accounts managed by him, and I have not. So I'm just telling you, full disclosure, I can't verify from looking at someone's portfolio, but I've had it told to me about their portfolios.
But when did they start investing with him, though? I mean, if people started investing with him since 2000, that'd be a lot different than right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's not. Hold on. You know why I don't like that, Rahul? Someone commented on a video I did the other day where they said that they were commenting on the glorious David Morgan and Eric Sprott and all this, and how, okay, they got it wrong for the last 3 years, but they got it right the previous 3 years or 4 or 5 years. But you see, I got a newsflash for people, and Cosmos Gato is going to love this. I have a newsflash. It's not good enough to be on the same side of the trade for 10 years and ride something up and then get your ass kicked. That's not trading. That's just being an idiot. I mean, you can't take credit for being a good trader if you're just on one side of the trade constantly. That's not trading. So when people talk about people like Morgan and Eric Sprott, if you say that what they did was majestic on the way up, what do you call it on the way down?
Right. It's being right, like the broken clock is right twice a day, right?
Right. So I'm just saying that let's say Peter Schiff had been good for so many years, and again, I'm not coming down on Peter Schiff here. I'm just saying if that was the excuse, don't you have to be better than that? You can't just simply say, I flipped a coin and got it right. Don't you have to have a better...
Well, one of the reasons Peter Schiff is doing well now is that he is spinning a consistent story in terms of, the government malfeasance. And even though the economy, at least from the news perspective and from the talking heads perspective, they say it's getting better, everyone knows that it's not. And then he's providing the same kind of narrative that he had before everything else blew up, too. So I think people are looking at that as... that's his, that's Peter Schiff now, building it up again, and maybe he's going to be right a second time.
I mean, history obviously will prove him right. I mean, over the long run, if they continue to do this mess. Now, the question is timing. I mean, Wall Street, these guys, they have a short-term mindset. I mean, they look at it from a 90-day perspective. That's how they operate. They don't look at it like he does. I mean, he's more of a long-term thinker. I mean,
right, but people make and I want to make a distinction here myself. I've never looked at someone's Peter Schiff portfolio. Okay, I know what people have said to me, but I've never looked at it. So if Peter has a glowing, fantastic record and I don't know about it, I apologize. But from what I've seen, the long-term macro story is being invested by people, and in the short run, they're having some financial downfalls because of it. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I would say that's accurate, yeah.
Well, and what you said earlier, Raul, that it kind of depends on when you entered the game, too, right? I mean,
right.
But why should it, hold on, let me, I don't want to harp on this too much, but I'm curious, why should it matter when you became someone's client as to when you're going to get a good deal? It would seem to me, like Warren Buffett, for example, in 2007, the market dropped, and if anyone doesn't believe me, look at Berkshire Hathaway. Look at Berkshire Hathaway stock. It fell in like exactly the same percent as the S&P 500 did from the top in 2007 to the bottom in 2009. Now, what kind of genius would it take to have done that? I could have done that. I could have done exactly the same thing with billions of dollars, and I could have turned in the exact same shitty performance.
Don, we started this by, before we even started this whole conversation, I had mentioned about industry analysts and how they get propped up too. And they usually get propped up from one really good call. If you remember Meredith Whitney and her call on, the falling of Citibank.
That's right. And by the way, speaking of Meredith Whitney, the last thing she said of any note was when she was talking about getting out of bonds and shorting the bond market, and the bond market was going to get killed. And what time is it, Meredith Whitney? Because that trade would have blown up your portfolio if you'd have taken it.
That she started
all of her clients.
And she
started her own investment firm that went defunct.
And she literally made that call. I don't know if y'all remember this, but Bill Gross and Meredith Whitney, like within a week or so, came out like, now's the time to get out. Bond market is dead, right before the skyrocket. And no one ever held her to account for that. I mean, it was, and so back to your, before people think that we're just dogging on people, we all make mistakes. That's not the issue. Like Rahul, you and I both have made bad calls. Ernie, you've probably made bad calls. We all do. But the media decides to take a personality and promote the personality. Like they call, Warren Buffett the Oracle of Omaha, Wizard of Wall Street. Peter Schiff was Dr. Doom. I think that when people watch the mainstream media for investing advice, I think that's really dumb. I think because they're watching entertainment, and it's not really investing advice that you can use. I don't think. What do you think, Rahul?
And the ultimate entertainer, I'm sorry for stealing Rahul's time, but the ultimate entertainer has been Jim Cramer. Here's a guy who had some clients way back when in a small hedge fund, and he did well for a period of time, and so he made his name there, and then his personality took over for his Mad Money show, and that's what he sells now. I mean, the guy doesn't trade at all, and everybody knows that you can use Jim Cramer as sort of the anti-indicator.
Well, right? the thing about Cramer, which is amazing, and people have forgotten about this, Cramer was kicked off of CNBC's air, like sometime in the early 2000s, for coming on and promoting some stocks or something. And he's gone from the laughing stock to the guy who's the face of the network now. And it's 100% because of what we've started off with, and Rahul was talking about in terms of the media. It's just about the personality. I mean, Jim Cramer, I don't know that you can use him for contrarian indicator all the time. When you make 40 or 50 stock picks a day, it's, no, I'm serious. I mean, which one, you don't know. But But over the long run, studies have shown that his picks are horrible. But yet, that's not why people, let me get to the alternative media through Jim Cramer. I used to say that the only people that watched Jim Cramer were old people in podiatrist's office getting their feet scraped, or folks in the gym, watching a monitor while they're on a treadmill. In other words, I couldn't believe anybody actually watched him for trading advice because it was so bad. Now, let me ask you something, Rahul, and Ernie, don't jump in. This is Rahul's question.
Okay.
When you look at the advice from some of the gurus, luminaries, messiahs, and you know what I'm talking about. You look at some of that stuff. The people that follow them, can they really be stacking anything more than a couple ounces on that advice?
I mean, if you look at Drudder's videos, right, they used to stack like crazy, and then I heard something like he was selling his stack to try to make ends meet. And I'm just trying to wonder how many the people that listen to us are facing hardship like that guy Drudder. So that's something to think about.
No, wait, I don't know if I don't get your point. Listen to us. I'm not jamming people in it all the time. I'm not.
Not you. I'm just talking about YouTube in general.
Okay. Oh, yeah, YouTube. So what you're saying is, well, okay, but let's talk about in hard numbers. If you had to estimate, because my contention is this: if you had real money on the line, like real money, would you keep listening to someone who was wrong over and over and over and over and over and over and over if you had real money on the line?
No, people are not going to continue to listen to individuals who are wrong. I mean, yes, you see some of these channels rising, but now you're starting to see a huge backlash. I mean, I'm seeing it sometimes in the comment section, not particularly about me, but about other people. So I'm starting to see some of that anger. I mean, like, I've seen some guys who used to stack the smack, and then now they're coming out with videos attacking YouTube personalities. And, like,
that would be Attack the Smack.
Yes, Attack the Smack. Yeah, good. You should name it Attack the Smack, the video.
I'll name this video Attack the Smack. Good one. I think I'll also trademark it because that's all the rage now in the stacking community is to come up with some little phrase and trademark it. Anyway, back to our topic about the media and the personalities and investing and all that. I think ultimately every one of us makes bad calls, and I don't think it's Peter Schiff's fault or Warren Buffett's fault or Jim Cramer's fault that they get the pub they get. I think that the media just decides they're the flavor of the moment, put them out there, and they tell a compelling story, and that sells advertising. But that's,
and you know what the weird part is? That CNBC has like really low ratings. I think it hasn't had these ratings since 92 or 93.
It's the lowest rating ever, right? Exactly.
And they're flocking to the alternative media, and now the alternative media, like I've mentioned, some of it is just bogus, beyond bogus.
Wait, so. Some of it? Some of it.
I would say half.
Half. Okay. Let me write that down. Rahul says half.
Rahul, you have to be educated on the old 80-20 rule.
Are you taking the over or the under on half of the alternative media being bogus, Ernie?
Under.
Under. All right. Well, listen. I mean, it's been a delightful conversation, and I just want to conclude by saying, we all make mistakes. Don't listen to this and think that any of us is saying that we're perfect. It's the way the media portrays people that I think is the problem, and I think people should just open their eyes, do a little research, and if you want to watch someone for the story, watch someone for the story.
But Don, doing research is hard. It's so hard. And then if I do the research and I'm wrong, then the only person I have to blame is myself.
Well, that's true. And most people don't like to blame themselves. They'd rather blame somebody else.
That's easy. I can blame. It's much easier to blame you.
Yeah. Well,
or you could blame Blythe Masters, right?
Blythe Masters, or I guess, J.P. Morgan, right? Now, by the way, speaking of the J.P. Morgan thing, I guess they didn't crash, right?
Nope.
They didn't crash. Okay. All right, Rahul, where can people find you on YouTube?
YouTube channel, Alt Investors Hangout.
Now, I've asked you this before, real quick. What's with that name, dude?
I don't know, just alternative thinking, and then, I don't know, place to hang out. I mean, I thought of it in 2011. It was a long time ago. I don't want to change it now because everyone knows me as Alt Investors, so whatever. I would have chosen Alt Investors, but then I don't know if people would be confused with other websites on the internet, so I just came up with something out of the air.
Well, honestly, I know what you're saying about changing your name. I don't like the original name for my channel.
Daytradeshow.
Oh no, the Daytradeshow is not the original name. The original name was HR Puff and Stuff.
Was it really?
I don't know. Ernie, where can they find your stuff?
Well, right now it's the Apple Investor, but I want to change my name. Actually, I have a channel all set up. I have two. But the one I like the best is Dude from Earth.
Oh yeah, I saw that the other day. I was like, what is that channel?
My new channel, by the way, you can find me at youtube.com/Jugs McGee. That's my new channel.
What about COINTELPRO, right?
COINTELPRO. You know what? One thing, have you ever gotten someone that sent you a message that or a comment that you were in league with banksters or whatever?
Yeah, when I did that silver shortage video, like May of last year, I got so much slack from the stackers, and then they're saying that you're a shill, this guy's an idiot, you're in league with the banksters.
Yeah, that goes to my whole point. They don't want to blame themselves. They want to blame somebody else for their fallacy.
But do you think, Rahul, do you think that anyone actually believed you were getting paid by? I've had people actually say they thought I was paid by bankers, and let me tell you something. I'm not kidding. If you're a banker and you're listening to me, I'm available to be on the tape.
Yes, the Bitcoin wallet number is in the comment section.
Yeah, I've had some accusations that I'm a paid shill and who's paying me. But
do you think they believe that? Do you think people really believe that? Do you think people really believe that Rahul comes out and does these videos and all this because bankers, like you, have some sort of influence or something?
Oh, Don, when I was big on Apple, and I had the Apple Investor blog since 2007, some people actually thought that that my commentary was influencing the market.
Okay. Were you paid?
I mean, my channel's small, so I can't influence the market. I mean, unless I'm like touting a penny stock or something like that, then I could, but I'm not doing that. So
yeah, I'll be sure and look out for the penny stocks on your channel. By the way, I suspect I'll see penny stocks on your channel about the same time you see Quark on mine.
I mean, sometimes I talk about marijuana stocks. I trade around marijuana stocks, which are penny stocks. But
there are marijuana stocks?
Well, now we're getting down to it.
I didn't know that. I mean, so what are these for dispensaries?
I don't know.
For product.
You should ask Josh Galt. He trades around them all the time. He would know a little more about that.
Okay. Well, we'll pick that topic up next time. So for Rahul and Ernie, I'm Jugs McGee, and I'll see y'all next time.
See ya.
Bye.